Hello guys, welcome to this edition of Retracing History, and we are currently along the Blue Ridge Mountain Scenic Parkway, which is right behind me, or Scenic Bypass is sometimes also called as, and we're on our way down to Bedford, Virginia, which is down in this direction, and we decided, because we had just come over some beautiful countryside coming across the mountains here, and we've entered a region known as the Peaks of Otter, and amongst these free mountain peaks, there is a visitor center for the National Park Service, because this roadway, this Blue Ridge Mountain Parkway, is actually controlled partly by the National Park Service. So we're going to rest our legs, go inside, and learn a little bit more about this parkway, and especially about the history of the Peaks of Otter. The Peaks of Otter refers to free mountaintops along the Blue Ridge mountain range, its largest peak being Sharp Top, which shares the company of Flat Top and Harkening Hill. While known today as a scenic retreat, the peaks have witnessed the passing of North America's human history. Archaeologists have unearthed evidence of multiple Amerindian cultures occupying the area as far back as 5,000 years. At the onset of European colonization, the Cherokee Nation were among one of those indigenous groups that frequented the region. They followed well-worn trails out of their homelands through the Peaks of Otter and into hunting grounds or off to conflict. At the dawn of the 18th century, the first European colonists arrived at the Peaks of Otter. I can only imagine their amazement seeing the peaks towering above them. But by the time of the Revolutionary War, the Amerindian trails had been upgraded for use as the Buchanan Liberty Turnpike, aided in moving pig iron and lead from the Shenandoah Valley to eastern Virginia. As early as the start of the 19th century, the Peaks of Otter became a destination unto themselves. One of its most famed visitors was none other than Thomas Jefferson, whose summer retreat was approximately 25 miles east of the mountains. Upon an 1815 trip to measure the peaks, Jefferson claimed that they were the tallest in Virginia, though that honor technically goes to Mount Rogers, that did not deter the interests of sightseers. Prior to the American Civil War, the first facilities to accommodate visitors to the mountaintops were already present, known as Mons Village. Several of these facilities would expand into the Peaks of Otter Lodge that continues to host travelers to this day. By the turn of the 20th century, Mons Village was small but thriving. In addition to supporting the vacation-goers, farms such as the one run by the Johnson family were selling their crops to markets at the foot of the peaks. The Great Depression would send the Peaks of Otter onto its current trajectory, as federal planners marked the famed mountaintops to be a critical milepost along the proposed Blue Ridge Scenic Parkway. That parkway was envisioned by the Roosevelt administration to tether the Shenandoah National Park with the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Multiple landowners around the Peaks of Otter would be pressed into selling their property, which ultimately came under the jurisdiction of the National Park Service. However, it would not be until some time after World War II that the parkway was completed, leading to several man-made structures in the Peaks of Otter region either being greatly modified or outright leveled to turn the area into a lush green space. However, new accommodations went up as visitation continued to increase not just in the Peaks area, but the parkway entirely. Today, the Blue Ridge Scenic Parkway claims to be the most visited national park, having received over 947 million visitors since 1941. Several plan their destination to be at the peaks, while many others will pass through it like we are today.
So we're asking on a car ride up what Peaks of Otter meant. There's actually three theories to the origin. The one that, and personally, I think is most likely, we have a Cherokee language. There's a word known as otari, which essentially means high places. And I would agree, we're in a very high place here in the Peaks of Otter. So otari may have been mistranslated to otter over the years. Also, the Otter River itself has its headwaters on the eastern side of the mountains, and its location may be why people call this area the Peaks of Otter. Finally, Scottish settlers who were passing through the Blue Ridge Mountains had thought Sharp Top, one of the peaks here in the Peaks of Otter, resembled the Otter Highlands of their home country. So there's three different theories. What do you guys think in the comment section? Personally, I'm going with Scottish settlers butchering Otari and Cherokee to Otter.
So, though we're on our way to Bedford, Virginia to talk about World War II history, right along here at the Peaks of Otter, we got a Civil War Trails wayside discussing about Hunter's Raid. By the mid-19th century, several turnpikes have been constructed for gaps in the Blue Ridge, including the Buchanan and Bedford Turnpike here, which is now present-day Route 43, which is going somewhere over here. It's going to go that way, right? Yeah, somewhere over here. I think this way. Somewhere over here.
Yeah, that's the road we're going to take.
Yeah, somewhere. Right, yeah, we're taking that. We're taking that. These roads brought peddlers, visitors, and on several occasions, soldiers to places that we look upon as vacation sites nowadays. Such was the case in June of 1864, when the tranquility of Peaks of Otter was broken by the cavalry of Union General David Hunter's troops crossing the mountains for Buchanan with the city of Lynchburg as their objective. This was after the Battle of Newmarket, after Franz Sigel had been defeated by Confederate General John C. Breckinridge, and David Hunter kind of assumed overall charge of Union soldiers in the Shenandoah Valley. And to get Lynchburg meant, if you take Lynchburg, if it's on the map here, yep, if you take Lynchburg, you would cut off a vital rail artery, bringing crops out of the Shenandoah Valley and shipping them over to Richmond and other Confederate front lines. Private Frank Smith, Reeder, 5th West Virginia Cavalry, noted that the 17-mile march across the mountains was impeded by felled trees, large boulders, and diverted streams washing across the road. A rougher road, he wrote, could not be imagined. Scouts scaled the peak called Sharp Top, from which they claimed they could see Richmond with the aid of a good spyglass. Reeder, sounding every bit the modern-day Blue Ridge Parkway visitor, wrote that the views were the most magnificent he had ever beheld. And I think we would agree with Reeder. These are
oh, they're gorgeous, yeah.
beautiful, beautiful vistas. As far as the eye can reach, a fine, undulating country is seen. The Peaks of Otter is the finest sight for mountain scenery. Hunter's artillery commander, Captain Henry A. DuPont, later wrote that one of the most superb views of the world, whole of America continent, lay before us. So according to Mr. DuPont,
This is it. Of course, this is 1860s. They hadn't seen... He hadn't been out west, probably.
Yeah, not yet. Not at least not yet. Yeah, but nevertheless, beautiful
Yeah,
countryside here. Humble collector here is looking through samples of some images taken in the 19th, early 20th century about sites you can see in the Peaks of Otter. We got here, what is it?
The Potato Rock.
Yeah, potato rock. It does look like a potato.
It does indeed.
What else we got?
So we got the old dam.
The old dam.
We got the old dam. We got the entrance to Hotel Mons. There's the Balance Rock.
Oh.
Another view of Hotel Mons.
It's interesting seeing those rocks over the years, how the sediment erodes, and it just perfectly sits. The balance is perfect.
Right. So that's one. There's this other hotel brochure.
Peaks View Cottage.
Road Cottage.
Looks like something on top of the Balance Rock, or
Yep.
something similar.
Something
to
similar, probably. There's panorama.
It. Yeah, the old.
Of the Mons and cottages, it looks like.
Yep. Motoring to the Peaks.
There's an early bus, yeah.
And there's your rates. That'd be nice. $350 a night.
Yeah,
$350
for lodging and food.
$350.
$350. Yeah.
$350. Since we're going down into Bedford, this is pretty interesting. They have an apple cider press here, and the lineage on it was made in Hocking Valley Manufacturing out in Lancaster, Ohio, around 1900, and eventually found its way here to Bedford. It had multiple owners. Its last owner before it came here to the visitor center was Robert Johnson down in Bedford. Inside the visitor center in Peaks of Otter, in addition to history, human history, they also got a lot of stuff about natural history. Of course, being drawn right over toward this taxidermy fox here. Piercing eyes. Well, that's going to conclude our pit stop here at the Peaks of Otter Visitor Center along the Blue Ridge Parkway. We're going to head down the mountain now. Before we depart, however, be sure to hit the like button down below. And if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe here to Readout Productions. And if you want to go the extra mile supporting us, keeping us on the road, go to our Ko-fi page and you can join the Garrison, our membership program, where you'll get some extra bonuses, including lodging reports, so where I review our hotel accommodations during these trips, and also you'll get a monthly digital postcard, behind-the-scenes photographs relating to trips like this. Thank you for watching. See you next time.